So my MYP project was on how the Beatles influenced modern day society and music. So here's my Google site. The Beatles have 26 songs that have reached number one in America. Their albums are iconic, and several of their albums are considerably their best albums of all time. They've sold over 1 billion records. 16 of the most 100 successful tracks of all time are Beatles songs. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, one of their albums, is considered to be their greatest of all time. Their song A Day in the Life is considered to be the best song of all time. The Beatles have more hits than any other artist or band in history. Their song Something is considered the best love song of all time. The Beatles popularized the sitar, which is an Indian instrument. They created several medleys on Abbey Road and Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Their song Obla Di Obla Da has been claimed as the perfect pop song by German scientists. Their pop culture aspect, from rooftop concerts, Helter Skelter murder case, Bigger Than Jesus quote, their movies, their Sgt. Pepper costumes, Paul is Dead conspiracy theory, Yoko Ono, Strawberry Fields, and Penny Lane, and their overall legacy. All their songs are different. They wrote their own songs and played their own instruments. The most recorded song of all time is their song Yesterday, and all of this was accomplished in less than a decade, and I believe 7 years total. So their influence: over 50 years after the Beatles broke up, their music is still world famous and influential. So they popularized the Beatles haircut, which is also known as a mop top. Their fashion, their Beatles suits became popular across Europe in the mid-60s, and they introduced bright colored clothing and Indian fashions such as colorless shirts and sandals to Western culture. Back in the 60s, albums were usually released on 45s, which is a type of record, with one song on each side, and the Beatles created longer albums, bigger records with two sides. They used this format to create masterpieces and made their songs flow accordingly. For example, on side B of Abbey Road, there is a 6-song medley, so they basically turned albums into art. They've influenced many famous artists and bands such as Lady Gaga, Oasis, Nirvana, the Eagles, the Beach Boys, Heart, Billy Joel, the Foo Fighters, the Bee Gees, and Bruce Springsteen, and those are just some of the many artists they've inspired over time. They westernized Indian-styled instruments by using the sitar in many of their songs, and if this whole, I guess, kind of essay basically just summarizes how their songs influenced other artists and their songs and music to this day. So they started the evolution of music. Several of their songs are considerably the best technically written songs of all time. They created phrases such as a hard day's night and 8 days a week. And their ballads aren't typical ballads. They're all types of voices, harmonies, structures, and millions of people claim they are the best band of all time since they changed music forever. So that is my MYP project. I chose this because I really love their music, and I do believe that they did change music for the good, and I hope you guys enjoyed.